Hello, viewers around the globe. This is Dr. Hashmi, your best selling author, radio, and TV personality, and I am best selling author. The modern Mughal mentality, new strategies to succeed in India, and the global marketplace. And this one is the science fiction book where a deadly virus spreads, and it is very timely book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. And when this book came last year, there was no trace of coronavirus. And there is a story which I have written in a very unique way, and it tells you about bioterrorism. So please go and buy these two books from wherever books are sold: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo, and give me an honest review. And these two books were bestsellers in their category at Amazon, and now please make them again bestseller and make them a New York Times bestseller. So today, friends, I'm talking about again of another book which really was very fascinating to me, and so I thought in my book club I will talk about that book. And the name of the book is Blood and Oil: Mohammed bin Salman's Ruthless Quest for Global Power, and it is written by Bradley Hope and Justin Sheeck. Um, and this is the overview of the book from award winning Wall Street Journal reporters Justin Sheeck and Bradley Hope, co author of Billion Dollar Whale. This revelatory look at the world's most powerful ruling family reveals how a rift with Saudi Arabian royalty produced Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, a charismatic leader with a ruthless streak. Long listed for the Financial Times and McKinsey Business Book of the Year award. 35-year-old Mohammed bin Salman's sudden rise stunned the world. Political and business leaders such as former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair and WME Chairman Ari Emanuel flew out to meet with the Crown Prince and came away convinced that his desire to reform the kingdom was sincere. He spoke passionately about bringing women into the workforce and toning down Saudi Arabia's restrictive Islamic law. He lifted the ban on women driving and explored investments in Silicon Valley. But MBS began to betray an erratic interior beneath the polish laid on by scores of consultants and public relations experts like McKenzie and Company. The allegations of his extreme brutality and excess began to slip out, including that he ordered the assassination of journalist Jamal Khashoggi while stamping out dissent by holding 300 people, including prominent members of the Saudi royal family, in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and elsewhere for months. He continued to exhibit his extreme wealth, including buying a $70 million chateau in Europe and one of the world's most expensive yachts. It seems that he did not understand nor care about how the outside world would react to his displays of autocratic muscle. What mattered was the flex. Blood and Oil is a gripping work of investigative journalism about one of the world's most decisive and dangerous new leaders. Hope and Shiak show how MBS precipitous rise coincided with the fraying of the simple bargain that had been at the head of US Saudi relations for more than 80 years: oil for military protection. Caught in his net are well known US bankers, Hollywood figures, and politicians, all eager to help the charming and crafty crown prince. The Middle East is already a volatile region. Add to the mix an ambitious prince with the extraordinary powers, hunger for a White House through President Trump's son in law Jared Kushner, and an apparent willingness to break anything and anyone that gets in the way of his vision, and the stakes of his rise are bracing. If his bids fails, Saudi Arabia has the potential to become an unstable, failed state and a magnet for Islamic extremists. And if his bid to transform his country succeeds, even in part, it will have reverberations around the world. About the authors, Bradley Hope, based in London, is the New York Times best-selling co-author of Billion Dollar Whale and covers finance and malfeasance for the Wall Street Journal. Before that, he spent 6 years as a Middle East correspondent. Hope is a Pulitzer Prize finalist and Gerald Loeb Award winner. About Justin Sheehan, based in New York, has worked at the Wall Street Journal since 2007, covering white collar crimes across continents. She has been writing about Saudi Arabia since 2016. Sheikh is a Pulitzer Prize finalist. And so this was the overview, friends, of the book by the authors. And this review overview I got from Amazon, and I read about the authors. And now, friends, I have like a audio book of this, so I will play some highlights, and then you can then we will do some editorial reviews and other reviews, and will give my analysis.
We started this project because Mohammed bin Salman is one of the world's most important new political and business figures. But he remains a mystery to those affected by the huge decisions he's making every few months. Whether it's Middle Eastern countries adjusting to his brusque use of power, technology companies growing thanks to billions of dollars, families of dissidents and regime critics whose lives have been upended, or people affected by his decision to start using oil as an economic weapon in early 2020. No one really has a clue what's driving his decision making, or how he was able to rise so rapidly. We are investigative reporters who focus on money, how it's spent, where it flows, and what it's used for. So we entered into this project believing we needed to unlearn everything we thought we knew about Saudi Arabia and Mohammed, start from scratch, and follow the money. The further along we got in our reporting, the more thankful we were for having done that at the outset. So many things we thought we knew about him were caricatures of the truth, and often spun in a way to exaggerate aspects of his personality to make him seem deranged, heroic, or out of control. Of course, this comes with the territory of writing about a new ruler imposing rapid transformation on a country that hadn't changed much in decades.
Now let's go say, these were the author notes, some highlights, and let me go now to prologue and see what they have to say now.
Prologue. The call just before 4 a.m. was urgent and unnerving. The king needed to see his nephew, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal al-Saud, as soon as possible. Come right away, the caller from the royal court said. For decades, Al-Walid had been the world's best-known Saudi businessman. He was the kind of person people wanted to be around, if only to glimpse life with a seemingly bottomless supply of money. With personal wealth estimated at $18 billion, he was, in the eyes of many Americans and Europeans, the ultimate Saudi. Fabulously rich, debonair, and excessive to the extreme. He had a fleet of planes, including a 747 jet with a throne-like chair in the middle, and a $90 million yacht that comfortably slept 22 guests with 30 crew members to look after them. When he found something he liked, he'd buy 10 or 20 of it, even if it was an expensive and bulky exercise machine. One for each home, pied-à-terre, desert camp, and yacht. Al-Walid delighted in that.
So now let's go to this was some highlights of prologue. Now go to chapter 1.
Chapter 1. The King is Dead. December 2014 to January 2015. Everyone was waiting for the king to die. It was December 2014. and Abdullah bin Abdulaziz al Saud, the sixth member of the third al Saud dynasty to rule in Arabia, was fading away in a hospital bed in the desert outside Riyadh. Abdullah had always loved the desert. He went there to think, and as he got older, to escape the capital's traffic, its lines of men asking for.
Now let's do some chapter 2 about
Chapter
MB.
2, MBS.
It's about MBS.
January 23rd to May 1st, 2015. The generals sitting around the Saudi Defense Ministry's Situation Room table thought they had a pretty good idea of what was about to happen. They'd been running the Saudi armed forces for decades and believed their new defense minister would be pretty much like the last one. When facing adversity, Saudi Arabia followed the lead of the United States of America, its longtime protector. There would be grave deliberations, and a decision to have more grave deliberations the following day and the following week, until Washington, D.C. decided what to do. But when Mohammed bin Salman, 29 years old and with less than 8 weeks of experience running the Saudi military, sat down at the head of the V-shaped table and issued an unprecedented.
So now this was some of the highlights which you listened from the audiobook I have, and now I will give you my analysis first. I think I like this book a lot, and it gives a real clear picture about the Muhammad bin Salman, and I really like Muhammad bin Salman, and he's very charismatic, and I just, so any book which comes about him I go and read it. And this is my book club. It's called Dr. Afshan Hashmi's Glam and Glitzy Club. And if you want to join it, then please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com, and I will send you the link how to join it. And I really need some more members in the club so that we can have a stimulating discussion about various books. And as I told you that I charge $100 to include books in this, but if I like a book, like I like this book, so there is no charge, it is free. And so if a book evokes my imagination, or you can say my curiosity, then there is no charge. So please send your books for review in this kind of review setting at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com, and I will review that book if I like it free, or if it evokes my curiosity but it is not up to the level that I can give my time free, then I will charge $100. So having said that, I really liked this book, and I would give it 5 stars, and they have given a full picture. So if you want to know about Muhammad bin Salman and how he's ruling and all in Saudi Arabia, then you should really go and look for this book, and I give this book 5 stars. Now this is the editorial review which I got from Amazon, and it says editorial reviews review. Blood and Oil is the fascinating and highly entertaining tale of Mohammed bin Salman's rise to power, with fly on the wall reporting and palace intrigue worthy of Machiavelli. It will keep you turning the pages at a fast clip until its tragic denouement, and more importantly, it will leave you with a deep and nuanced understanding of the Crown Prince thinking and its implications for Saudi Arabia and the entire Middle East. John Carreiro, author of Bad Blood. This is as close of the truth to the real story of the corruption, vulgarities, horrors, and lies of the kingdom and its current despot as we are likely to get it. It can also be read as a Shakespearean story of utter greed. Seymour Hersh, author of Chain of Command. Blood and Oil is the best book I have read about Middle East. It gets deep into the most opaque place on earth without a false note anywhere. Not to mention the book is a wonderfully readable page turner and indispensable if you want a glimpse of the future of Saudi Arabia and the world. Robert Bayer, author of See No Evil and Sleeping with the Devil. Bradley Hope and Justin Shee, chronicle the truly incredible story of MBS rise in the deep multi dimensional way that only experienced Wall Street Journal reporters can do. The book reads like a novel, but it also plays the critical important role of illuminating a real person who is going to shape our world in ways we would all be better for understanding. Bethany McLean, author of Saudi America and co-author of The Smartest Guys in the Room, a crisp page turner of a book teeming with telling detail, blood and oil is particularly good on the link up between the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund and Masayoshi Son of SoftBank. There is plenty more in Hope and Shriek's splendid book, Financial Times. An engrossing new book, Bradley Hope and Justice Shiaks deliver a vivid portrait of treachery and power grabs in the attempt to uncover what drives some of the young royals' often reckless decision making. NPR.org. Hope and Shiak confront us with the conundrum of a young man who is doing good by his kingdom, brilliantly describing how the enigmatic crown prince is bringing progress to Arabia as we would see in the West while operating with ruthlessness and absolutism that make the stomach curl. Blood and Oil is compelling reading. We are challenged and enthralled on every page. Robert Lacey, best-selling author of The Crown and Inside the Kingdom. Explosive, The Times UK. Excellent Forbes. Blood and Oil is a revelatory book that resonates with the stranger than fiction quality as the author analysis of the Crown Prince brutishness, outlandishness, and reformer's mentality is as riveting as it is profound. Brian Burrock, author of Public Enemies and co-author of Barbarians at the Gate, and I have already read to you about the author, and there are some reviews which I liked on the page. It give you some picture about the book, and I got these reviews from Amazon. Having met Bradley Hope when we both worked in Abu Dhabi, I'm always ready to hear him or read a book which he has written, with the co-author in this case. With the new recognition of Israel by UAE and Bahrain, the role of Saudi Arabia becomes even more important in the years. Young trying to drag the kingdom into the 21st century. I hadn't realized until reading Blood and Oil that Nuam, Ambia's dream city state in northern Saudi Arabia, is actually on the Israeli border. The future looks interesting. Yes, I remember the Chinese saying, but brighter than a few years ago. And then there was another review which I liked, so I thought I will read this one also. I found this book simultaneously fascinating and alarming. Yes, it's journalistic in its approach, but that's the value proposition in the work. I appreciated the comprehensive fact based account of the meteoric rise of one of the world's most powerful and complex figures. The authors managed to avoid devolving into a polemic or partisan political narrative while fully illuminating the complicated psyche of an authoritarian leader who resorts to primitive and often brutal and auspiciously humanitarian issues. It's up to the reader to decide if MBS is a barbarian, a hero, or a manifestation of the highly inherent in power. I think the book was mistitled as the oil issue is really only addressed at the end of the book, seemingly an afterthought. However, the collapse in oil prices in 2014 to 16 were a critical part of the need for Saudi economic reform. I thought the authors did an outstanding job describing the relationship that MBS had with all of the royal family members, but I was little disappointed after $1 billion whale and the lack of deep discussion on Saudi oil and policy. And friends, if you have heard about this book, I'm not sure So if you have read this, let me know your thoughts, and I will be putting this on my uh, social media channels like on YouTube and Facebook, and I will be doing a tweet about it. So let me know your thoughts so that we can have a discussion there. Having said this, have you bought these two books of mine, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace, and The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection? If you haven't bought these two books, please go and buy these books and give me an honest review, and I'll be very thankful to you for buying this book and giving me an honest review. And having said that, now I will end this meeting. So the conclusion is, I really like this book. I like the way it has been written, and I really like MBS, and MBS is a very fascinating leader, because when I went to Saudi Arabia, I saw there that women cannot drive, and it is through MBS efforts and leadership that now women can drive in Saudi Arabia. Cheers! And this is a very, very strong leader, and I really like MBS. So please go and read this book, and you can see like the various aspects of MBS here. And I give this book 5 stars, and thanks authors for writing about MBS. Having said that, cheers, and this is your loving author, Dr. Afshan Hashmi, now signing off from this episode of my book club meeting, and see you with another fascinating book. And cheers! And bye bye. And I have to tell you, friends, that I have made a Patreon page, and it is www.patreon.com/Afshan Hashmi. So you can go there if you want to see videos like this and all. Then please go and be one of my patrons, and I would really love that, and I will really nurture your support, because to be creative there is a lot of cost involved, and nobody is paying me to do this. So I just want some help from some patrons rising up. So cheers, and love you all, and hope to see a lot of patrons on my Patreon page. And bye bye.